Okay, so under by the board of directors, we said only in the two semesters by the board or by the requisition of the shareholders, only the board of directors will conduct the meeting. Whenever you go for requisitionist, right? So by the requisitionist here also we have two processes, by the requisitionist themselves or by the NCLT. So what is by requisitionist themselves, right? So if whatever the requisition made by the shareholders, so based on the requisition form the board of directors will conduct the meeting. But even though if the requisition form is what if the requisition form is made by the shareholders, but even though if the directors are not conducting the EGM in the company, so then at that time, right, so at that time the requisitionist themselves can have a right to conduct the meeting. The requisitionist means the person whoever is making that requisition form is known to be as a requisitionist. Simply we can call them here the shareholders or the requisitionist, right? Even though if the form is, even the requisition is made by the shareholders to the directors, if the directors are not conduct the meeting, at that time the requisitionist themselves can conduct the meeting in the company. So they can call a meeting but not later than 45 days from the date of deposit of the requisition form. So if it is not conducted by the directors, then the requisitionist can conduct the meeting. But only, right, here what we have to discuss, right, the EGM requisitionist by the members must be held within 3 months from the date of requisition of form, right? So from the date of valid requisition of form in the registered office, the requisitionist can conduct the meeting within 3 months. But whereas if the directors, within 45 days they have to conduct the meeting, but whenever we are coming to the requisitionist, they have to conduct the meeting within 3 months of valid requisition form. And at the same time the EGM shall be called as same other meetings whichever is called by the board of directors. So it will be it will be conducted by the requisitionist, but the meeting should be called only by the directors. And at the same time, even though if the expenses, see, similarly the board of directors generally he will bear all the expenses regarding to the meetings of a company. But if it is conducted by the requisitionist, the all expenses has to be paid by the requisitionist only. But later on the requisitionist can refund the amount from the company's expenses. So he can, that means the company has to repay all the expenses to the requisitionist himself only. So next one, only one requisitionist, right? Note, one or more of the requisitionists after the expiry of the date of depository requisition may proceed to call a meeting. So if it is, that means if it is not conducted by the directors within 45 days, then the requisitionist is having a right to call a meeting, right? So this is about the requisitionist. In this one, the requisitionist is having a right to conduct the meeting. So next one, by the NCLT. As you know, what is NCLT? NCLT in the sense National Company Law Tribunal. It is a separate statutory body of authority where it is having some authority to conduct the meeting. So if it is EGM is needed in the company, but it is not conducted by the board itself, it is not conducted by the requisition of shareholders, or if it is not conducted even by the requisitionist also, then at that time if it is needed in the company, the NCLT is having authority to call an EGM if it thinks fit or if it is needed by the company. So NCLT is having separate powers. So it may give directions. It may give directions in respect of the place or the date where the meeting is to be held. And at the same time, it may also give some directions to the directors or to the shareholders. That means directly the NCLT will not conduct the meeting, so it will just give the directions, or it will just exercise or share the powers to the directors or to the members, or sometimes on its own also it can conduct the meeting. So based on the guidance whichever is given by the guidance whichever is given to the directors or the shareholders. Based on that, even the NCLT is also having a separate power to conduct the meeting. So generally the NCLT will not conduct, it will just exercise its powers, or it will just give some directions to the directors or to the members to conduct the meeting. Okay, so here this is about the extraordinary general meeting. So in this extraordinary general meeting we need to discuss about the purpose, or we discussed about the purpose, or the what is the main intention of conducting the AGM, and whoever is having a right to conduct the AGM in the company. So actually here class meetings are also one type of meetings here. So then what is of class meetings here? So class meetings are generally important for short answers, may or may not comes, right? So but what is generally a class meetings are generally conducted in the company, so only for the purpose of of conversion of one class of shareholders into the other class of shareholders. That means here, for example, if you will take the equity shareholders, right? So to conduct the equity shareholders, to convert the equity shareholders into preference shareholders, even not only the shareholders, even the rights and duties of the shareholders are also, not only rights, duties, and even the privileges of shareholders are also converted from converted from one class to the other class. So mainly if you will observe here, the alteration of the rights and privileges of one class of shareholders into another class of shareholders, we need to pass the resolution in the company's meeting. So whatever the resolutions we are passing for conversion of shareholders from one class to the other class, so whatever the resolutions we are passing in a meeting, right? So in a particular meeting, that meetings are known to be as a class meeting. So class meetings are generally provides the various rights of different class of shareholders only by passing of resolution in the company's meeting. So that resolutions whichever is passed in the particular meetings are known to be as a class meetings. Okay, okay, yeah, okay students, thank you.